Major Hurricane Beryl is getting closer to Jamaica and other portions of the Caribbean, with life-threatening impacts expected. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi friends, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. Good to see you on this Tuesday evening. Coming up in this video, I've got all the newest information on Hurricane Beryl. We'll talk about some impacts right now, especially for the island of Hispaniola, and then get into the weeds, if you will, about the potential impacts for places like Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, and then as it moves west into the Yucatan and portions of Central America. Programming note, first of all, you'll find our 24/7 live stream running late tonight and overnight. You can tune into that to get the latest information on Beryl, live satellite, live radar, live winds, a live updated hurricane track. So check in during the overnight hours, and then I will see you tomorrow morning starting at 8 a.m. for live continuous coverage of Hurricane Beryl as it approaches Jamaica and beyond. We'll be covering that live, just like we did for the Windward Islands as Beryl moved through there. So I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Look for that scheduled live stream. Okay, let's get into it, friends. This video is really all about getting everyone prepared. There really hasn't been much change in the overall philosophy of what Beryl is going to bring to places like Jamaica and the Cayman Islands and areas off towards the west. At the hour, Beryl is still a major Category 4 hurricane with winds of 150 miles an hour. There's been a bit of wind shear to knock this storm down, but we're also running out of time. And although I expect there to be some wind shear to continue overnight and for Beryl to be weaker when we all wake up on Wednesday morning, we're simply running out of time, friends. At this point in time, Beryl, if we go from the eastern side of Jamaica to the center of circulation, is just about 300 miles from the east coast of Jamaica, and going at 22 miles an hour, we're going to start to see some tropical storm impacts to Jamaica overnight, and then the brunt of Beryl moving in as we go through the morning and the rest of the day on our Wednesday. So although a weakening trend should continue with Beryl, it's just how much further is this really going to weaken in a short amount of time? We'll look more into that a little bit, but more than likely we are still going to have a major hurricane moving close to Jamaica tomorrow. Now, Beryl is impacting especially the southern Hispaniola coastline, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. Look at the northern feeder bands coming in. This is the closest approach for our friends in Hispaniola that Beryl is going to bring, but on this Tuesday evening, it's pretty significant. We have very heavy rain. We have gusty winds. We have a good amount of lightning moving in right now. You can see some of the breezes. Tropical storm warnings are in effect. Hurricane watch for the south coast of Haiti. And some of this rain, again, as it gets deeper inland and some of the higher terrain could lead to some very heavy rain and landslides and mudslides. So our friends in the Dominican Republic and Haiti, and we have a lot of those here who are Meteo Mundo subscribers, let us know in the comments how you guys are doing. But again, it's going to be a pretty rough night in Hispaniola here as Beryl has a close enough approach where we're going to see those northern feeder bands really impact the island, especially the southern coastline. Now again, the newest information on Beryl is this. As of the 8 p.m. advisory, again, still a Cat 4 with winds of 150 miles an hour. Pressure still 943. It is still speeding along west-northwest at 22, now located 360 miles to the east-southeast of Kingston, but again, right around 300 miles from the east coast of Jamaica. So, watches and warnings currently in place. Hurricane warning for Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and Cayman Brac. We have a tropical storm warning for the south coast of the Dominican Republic from Punta Pocente west to the Haiti border, and then South Haiti coast, which is also under a hurricane watch. New to the advisory, a hurricane watch is now in effect for the east coast of the Yucatan from Chechemal to Cabo Catoche, and then a tropical storm watch for the coast of Belize south of Chechemal to Belize City. And we'll get into the Yucatan and Belize coming up here in this video as well. Again, Beryl should be fighting some wind shear. You can see that in the reds between Jamaica and where Beryl is located right now, but it's the time factor here. How much more are we really going to knock down this storm between now and then? We'll take a look at a couple of things here. Obviously, we're a little bit too late to catch a lot of the visible satellite imagery, but we'll look at some of that imagery right as darkness falls. and it still is a very healthy storm. There is a little bit of erosion and some drier air on the western side. Again, we have west wind shear. So as the storm is moving from east to west, that wind shear is actually punching the storm right in its face. And we have seen a bit of an erosion on the western side. If you notice, it's just not as symmetrical anymore. The storm's a little bit more asymmetrical. Even the eye is a little bit more asymmetrical. So again, we should continue to see gradual diminishing of the winds and an increase in pressure again, which is a weakening of the storm. But all indications are this will still be at least a Category 3 as it approaches Jamaica early tomorrow. So now let's take a look at that track. And again, it really hasn't changed, guys. The Hurricane Center from the last update, again, the 5 p.m. advisory was the full advisory, so the 8 p.m. advisory has no track change. And you can see this is going to get very close to Jamaica tomorrow, potentially on the south coast, which is not going to be good news for places like Kingston. Again, still forecast to be 135 early tomorrow morning, and then slowly weaken into a Category 3 as it moves just southwest of the island with winds of 120. Again, if the eye stays offshore, we're still going to have the onshore flow and a lot of storm surge, especially into the port there near Kingston and other southern coastal areas. Life-threatening storm surge, life-threatening wind, life-threatening rain could come along with Beryl. As a matter of fact, that's exactly the term that the Hurricane Center is using. Then very late tomorrow into Thursday, we'll watch out for the Cayman Islands, which are under that hurricane warning as well. Again, Beryl should continue to weaken, but the official forecast still has it as a Category 1 as it approaches the Yucatan coastline and the northern coastline of Belize on Friday, and could emerge with a core of circulation still intact into the southwest Gulf of Mexico, potentially moving on shore North Mexico, South Texas on Sunday. So that is the interactive track. This is the static track, if you will. One snapshot with the times on there. Again, you can see that Beryl will continue to move through or near Jamaica on Wednesday, then the Cayman Islands early on Thursday, towards Belize and the Yucatan on Friday, and then into the southwest Gulf of Mexico Saturday and Sunday. Friends, as we get into the models, I appreciate you liking this video. Thank you for all of our new subscribers. If you're not a subscriber yet, click that subscribe button right now. Appreciate you sharing this video with anyone that you think might get some important information out of it. And I appreciate all the support we've had lately at Meteo Mundo through our membership program, super thanks, and other ways that you can find how to support us here in the description below. Okay, so let's get back into what we expect here out of Beryl. And again, it's about what we're going to see here in the next 6 to 12 hours. We'll continue to see the southern coastline of Hispaniola rate. It will get a little bit closer to the southwest coastline of Haiti, where again, we could have some extremely heavy rains there towards Lacaille and other areas, and this will just begin to move in. And again, at 22 miles an hour, it's moving fast enough where the weather will go downhill in Jamaica early tomorrow morning. So we hope all of our friends in Jamaica have gotten their plans and they're ready to go. Their life-saving plans, their property-saving plans done. And our friends in the Cayman Islands will have a bit of time to prepare for tomorrow. But again, more than likely, we're going to see some hurricane conditions late tomorrow night. Now you're looking at the HAFS model, and it's in the middle of its run. So I'm going to wait until it gets back to the beginning frame here, and then we'll get into it. Here you go. This again is the model that I think has the best handle on what we're going to see. The center of circulation passing just south of Jamaica, or even brushing the southern coastline of Jamaica, missing the Cayman Islands just to the south, moving in towards the Yucatan. Now, a big question will be, if it goes into the northern side of the Yucatan, closer to Cancun and Cozumel, it might actually stay a stronger storm. If it goes a little bit farther to the south, it might lose a little bit more circulation, a little bit longer over land, which means a little bit weaker in the southwest Gulf. But you can see that moving into, again, far north Mexico or South Texas on Sunday, and it still might have a circulation. It still might be a tropical storm. One more run of this, you see Grand Cayman and Cayman and Little Cayman and Cayman Brac there. And then again, here is the Yucatan, Belize to our south. So the HAFS model has this over the Yucatan rather than Belize. That's one reason why we have the hurricane watch for the Yucatan and the tropical storm watch for Belize. So again, back to what we're going to be seeing here. I'm going to go back over to the big perspective. Again, friends, this really is all about just getting prepared at this point in time. So let's break down the impacts that I expect. And this is, again, official messaging For Jamaica, hurricane force winds are likely tomorrow. All right, life-threatening conditions are likely with Beryl tomorrow, more than likely remaining at least a Category 3 hurricane as it impacts Jamaica. A storm surge, a very threatening storm surge of 5 to 8 feet. 4 to 8 inches of rain, locally even higher. So that's 100 to 200 millimeters of rain, but in some spots even locally higher. Obviously, flash flooding is going to be a concern. Power outages will be a concern. Landslides and mudslides in some of the higher terrain. Our friends in Jamaica, please check in with your local officials, your local government for any local information you need and actions that you might need to take, okay? For our friends in Hispaniola, the Dominican Republic, again, near hurricane force winds are possible this evening. A storm surge of 1 to 3 feet, 4 to 8 inches of rain. That's 100 to 200 millimeters of rain, flash flooding, and the higher elevations. Haiti has all of the same hazards that the Dominican Republic is going to see, except on that south coast, they could actually get up to 12 inches of rain and a little bit more in the way of some sustained winds near hurricane force. So again, back out to the big picture, friends, that's what we expect. Now for areas like the Cayman Islands, again, we're going to see a storm surge of around 1 to 3 feet. We're going to see some locally heavy rainfall. It's a little too early to tell and to break down the specifics of what I expect in the Cayman Islands. We know we're going to have a bit of a storm surge. We know we're going to have some heavy rain, but it really is going to be about how much we weaken Beryl between now and the approach to the Cayman Islands. And then, of course, that then translates to what impacts we're going to see in the Yucatan and portions of the northern areas of Central America, including Belize, maybe down towards portions of coastal Guatemala and Honduras, Roatan included, although again, I don't expect there to be any direct impacts. Obviously, being on the south side of the storm there, areas to the south will be a little bit better. You want to be on the south side compared to the north side. We talked all about that in the Windward Islands as well. Again, you can clearly see all of that worse weather up there. Now, as we get into the remainder of the forecast here, really a couple of other things I just want to touch on. We still have 96L, which is here. Now, it more than likely is not going to develop, okay? Pretty much it's done. It could still bring some pockets of heavy rain and some fast-moving showers to portions of the Windward Islands and Lesser Antilles for tomorrow, but nothing as of significance. Elsewhere, we've had a few storms up in the Bahamas for today, and we've had a couple of pretty good storms over Andros and Grand Bahama. Isolated storms are possible there the next couple of afternoons. These are more the daytime, heat of the day storms for our friends in the Bahamas. Central and southeast Bahamas a little bit quieter. And then a few of the storms from Beryl actually can sneak their way all the way into portions of the Turks of the Caicos. For our friends in Cuba, we'll have isolated storms there. And then up in Bermuda, they've caught a couple of storms today. That should be clearing out for tomorrow. So that's kind of the broad look of what I expect. Now, down the road with Beryl, again, a lot of questions in the southwest Gulf of Mexico. So we're just going to take our time here, friends. We're going to deal with the here and now. That's Hispaniola on this Tuesday evening. We'll get through our Wednesday with our friends in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, and then we'll see how Beryl could potentially impact the Yucatan, portions of Central America, and then potentially Mexico and or the southern sides of the United States as we get into Saturday and Sunday. You know, you can find us across all social media, Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, myMediaMundo@gmail.com. Again, find our live stream overnight. Get prepared, friends. We have our thoughts with all of our friends in Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Hispaniola, other areas impacted by Beryl. I will see you live starting tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. for continuous coverage of Hurricane Beryl. I will see you then, friends. Until then, you have a great night, and I'll see you soon at Meteo Mundo.